Hey everybody, this is John from Purple Sorcerer Games, and I just wanted to give a brief overview of the updated version of the Crawler's Companion. As always, there's more in-depth tutorial files on my website. If you just go to purplesorcerergames.com and then you go under Tools, Crawler's Companion tutorial videos, it'll take you to the page which has all of the tutorials of the current feature set of the Crawler's Companion, but I just kind of wanted to give a brief overview of the whole thing. The main update in this version is a new battle management system. When you go under Battle, you'll see there's a new campaign tab, and inside here you can enter the name of your campaign that you've created online. And then when you click refresh, it updates the party to show all of the parties that you've created online. And under foes, all of the encounters that you've entered online. So you can then just put in all of the encounters that you think you might be running into in the course of the upcoming night's adventure, and they will be there for you. Now, the way the system works is, again, I mentioned there were web forms when you go to the Purple Sorcerer Games website. Under Tools, Crawler's Companion, Crawler Campaign Data. There it is. They're very simple web forms. You type in the name of your campaign. Then you type in the foes, the individual encounters. There's pretty extensive help here and in both the tutorials, but it really comes down to just a £, the name of the encounter, the name of the fighter, their initiative bonus, their current hit points, and then a comma for their max hit points. And then, so for example, I can just copy and paste this information. And then you take it and then you put it inside the web form, and then you can add all the additional encounter information for additional encounters inside that box. Same thing with your party. You start with the £, the name of the party, all the members of the party, and then just as a way to keep the bots from adding a bunch of stuff, you just have to type in Purple Sorcerer Games inside this box. And what did we call this campaign? We need a campaign name. We'll call this the new campaign. And then when you click submit, then it creates a text file on my server inside a community folder. Now, the reason this new system had to be made was that in the old system that you had to create an account on my website. All the information was stored in a database. It was all managed by WordPress. I had a couple times where WordPress was compromised, and so I finally had to remove it from my server. The new system, all it does is when you click submit on that form, it creates text files inside a community folder on my server that are named after the name that you just chose. When you do submit it, it gives you this link here. Then you can take this and you can bookmark it so that you can get right back to your campaign when you need to make updates, add new encounters, change the party members, whatever. But so that's all there is to creating a campaign. And so one very important thing is you need to remember this name, the new campaign. It's because now when we go back inside and I click on campaign, all I need to do is then go type in the new campaign, click refresh, and it goes out. And then if we go under party, now we have that one party that we just created. Under foes, we have those fearsome bandits. Now, say, for example, that you were running this and you had your own encounter set up, but you know that they were going to end up at Sailors of the Starless Sea. And so if you click on the Published Adventures tab, inside here, I've gone and I've taken a number of published adventures, including most of my adventures. I haven't done Carnival of the Damned yet. I'm sorry, Dave. But I have most of our adventures and also a lot of the Goodman Games adventures and frogs from our good friends from Thick Skull Adventures down here. But so you're going to be running Sailors. Then you click in there. Now you can just go, highlight, copy the information, go back, and now you go click into update. Click in here, add a blank line after your encounter, the one that you've created, type them in there. And now when I go back in here, and I click update, now that information has been saved. So if we go back into the campaign tab, and now we have to click refresh to let it know that we've made changes. When I go under my party, they're still the same because we haven't added any parties. Let's refresh this, and it removes all the enemies, just leaves the party members. Now if I click on foes, there's not only the fearsome bandits, now there are all the encounters from Sailors of the Starless Sea right there, and you're good to go for starting a fight. Now, what I would love to see is the community, and obviously the Dungeon Crawl Classics community is so awesome, is that to start creating those files of information for all of the published adventures. There's so many wonderful ones out there. So if you look under the instructions, it's pretty simple to go through all the encounters inside an adventure, and then as those come in, I'll just add them to this page. And so then when you need to add it to your campaign, all you need to do is just go to this published adventure page, click on it, copy and paste. You're good to go. And so that is the new battle management system, which I think is really simple. Now, one thing I'm interested in is it seems like far fewer people use this functionality than I think would. Because for me, it seems like it makes for any style of game, this makes managing your combat really easy and simple. To get the fight started, it's basically 2 taps, and you're good to go. And I know that there's a lot of judges like me that like that flow right into the fight is really important. Any sort of like fumbling around and taking time to get the combat set up, it just really slows things down. So, but I'm surprised. It seems like fewer people, and so let me know if you just think it's just that's not the way you play, or you think it's too complicated to do this, or you're confused by the instructions. Now, of course, I'm limited by both my health and my time to make updates, but clearly the more information I have, it helps me, for making future decisions. So yeah, let me know, and I'll take care of that. Inside the tools under generators, we now have Mercurial Magic. That's been added. On the fumble table, I've added now additional dice for fumble types 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're not, because they're not in the rule book, but I know that people have used a lot of optional stuff, which I think that would be, it makes it possible for you to be able to use those dice. When you click on options, it now shows the version of the program. This desktop version I'm using to be able to do this video hasn't been updated with that yet, but it is in the iOS and the Android ones already. So like if you ever have a question, what version am I running? All you have to do is click on there, and it'll show you. In addition to, you can always go into the About screen, and it'll show you the version that you're running on the Crawler's Companion. I think those are the major updates. There's some new dice colors that I've added. But in general, the process of one of the major problems is publishing to iOS. I mean, I think it's clear how much I absolutely loathe the process. But it didn't go too bad this time, and so it makes it so now I'm probably going to be a little bit more likely to be able to. I mean, it's still a pain to have to update the new file to all the different stores and then worry about, did I break it for someone? Oh, and also the major thing is in this new version, because of requirements from both Google and Apple, it requires iOS 8, and also some newer versions of the Android SDK as well. So it'll make it so that it's going to, like some of the really older devices are not going to be able to update to the new version of the Crawler's Companion. Now, I believe on iOS it should be smart enough that it won't even show the update if you're running an iPad 1. And I don't know how old the iPhones go, because I'm not able to test that, or I don't know if anyone's running it on an iPod. But if you have an older version, it probably shouldn't even show up. But I know that like on an iPad 2 or later supports it, but it has to be iOS 8 or later to be able to run the new version. So hopefully you shouldn't even see it, and the old versions should just keep working just fine. On the Android side, I know for sure that the original Kindle Fire doesn't work, and I imagine there's some other older phones. Now, the advantage on the Android side, as long as you're able to sideload the app, I keep an old compatible version of the APK file. So like, you don't have to worry about, like on the Apple side, if they somehow screwed up your Apple file. So try back, if you're running an older version of iOS, make sure you back up your IPA file using iTunes, so that you can always bring it back if something strange was to happen. But that is the new version of the Crawler's Companion. I'm happy to finally have a new version out, and I'll look to be making a few more adjustments as time goes on. So as always, let me know what you'd like to see, and I appreciate all the kind words and support that we continue to receive over the years. Thanks, everybody.